Welcome back, guys, to another
Mm.
episode of Guided Primal Sutra Podcast, GPS Podcast. And today we're talking about how to deal with low vibe people, how to deal with very annoying people, low vibe people, idiots, and so forth.
Mhm.
And if you're new, join the Telegram group, leave a like, leave a comment,
Correct.
and make sure that you check out the disclaimer and not to
True.
break any rules.
True.
That being said, let's get started, Ryan G. What's coming up for you in this top in terms of this topic?
There's nothing more abundant than idiots in every
In
shape,
ignorance, yeah.
form, and size. In
Yeah.
every walk of life, in every situation you find yourself in,
It's like
should
Dr. Seuss. Have you seen them by the sea? Have you seen
yes, have
Yeah,
to see them climb on rocks.
that's right.
I mean, even I make idiotic choices, like what I did last
Mm,
weekend because I was facing a challenge. I managed to figure it
mm.
out
All right. That's good.
to an extent, and I believe I've told you about this. And then it takes again
Yeah.
character to accept the mistake and continue on, accept the consequences of the mistake and continue on. Now,
Yeah.
this topic has been chosen specifically because of one of the adepts has gone through one of many cases dealing with idiots themselves, low frequency people with bad intentions, with hidden agendas, with hidden malicious agendas, where
Mhm.
they try to have the adept owe them to a certain degree
Yeah.
through
It's a form
a
of
false
control.
flag, form of
Yeah.
control. Now, in
Yeah.
Primal Sutra, we believe in character before everything, which means character before the spirituality and the magic. Now, you may consider yourself to be a 10 out of 10, in character building and whatnot, but it doesn't mean someone else is focusing on improving themselves. They might be
Right.
focused on getting the best gain from whatever sucker, assuming they see you as a sucker,
Mm,
they can get within the most efficient amount of time. And just
yeah.
that's the way it is. People will be the way they are, and let's say I choose to accept that. People will be people, and therefore taking a little bit of the inner tension away. Like people will be people, people will do as people do. But that being said, a snake who only bites and doesn't use his venom will be treated like a toy by children.
Mm,
So the moment you start treating these idiots like children, sure, it takes a little bit of the stress away, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't set your boundaries. It doesn't mean you shouldn't apply some consequences. What are your thoughts
yeah.
on that, Sumit? Because you and I
Yeah, it's
definitely
almost
differ
like
on that part, but I am, you know what my answer to that will be, but what is your
I have
perspective
to,
on
yeah, I
that?
have to deal with a lot of, let's just say, spiritual nonsense the day
Yeah.
to day. And there was just something very similar happened
Mm,
before, Ryan G. I just told you. I'm
mm,
not going to share that on here. It's not necessary. But yeah, basically the idea of not dealing with idiots, it's mainly to transmute their density and their heaviness. So their ignorance, you have to treat it like alchemical material, and it's just something for you to refine, or like
mhm,
it's your untrained reflex, it's your impatient child of your own psyche, so you're treating your own child like a child, which is
mm,
brilliantly said. The way you said it, Ryan, is to treat them like children because they are still maturing in their spirituality. They don't understand, or maybe they are just ignorant to information, or something is off internally
mhm,
for them. So when you stop seeing them as idiots and you start seeing them as energy testers, or like where they break your friction or your patience,
mhm,
it's kind of a sign of a trigger, knowing that okay, this is something I need to work on.
mhm.
you know so I reframe the battlefield in a certain sense.
Mhm.
And there's many ways, we could use magical protection. We could invoke the Heyoka current, laugh instead of argue, paraphrase instead of preach.
Hmm.
And character work, I think, is very important. One of the archetypes I tap into, I notice of the unshakable sage is the Hermes Bodhisattva current. So imagine Hermes, right?
Hmm.
Like as a Buddha, uh, humorous, quick, unbothered, compassionate, and like acting it out consciously. So it helps to be in that kind of flow because you're not faking calm, you're channeling calm until it becomes your default. So it's almost like a soul level method acting. You're like summoning the calm in that moment. You
Hmm.
could do this with your own deities, archetypes, spirit guides, of course, but the key to mastery is rehearsal, right? When you
True.
feel annoyance, just shift your posture, your breathing, and just look at this archetype. What comes up for you? There's some stuff from YouTube land. Hey there, Ellie. Hey there, babe.
AW.
Uh, because mirrors don't lie, says Mathis.
Mirrors don't
Right
lie.
on. All right. Awesome.
Well,
Another
if you.
thing that's coming up for me is, of
Hmm.
course, like the idea of shadow alchemy. So
Hmm.
idiots awaken your inner idiots in a sense. Like
True.
your need to be right, your need to be validated.
Hmm.
And that's each of our work. And it's like difficult to digest a lot of times, let's say. So you have to kind of thank these shadows silently, like you've just been, gifted growth potential, because
Mm.
that's essentially what it is. And yeah, like it treat these NPCs like training weights for your enlightenment, you know? Like they're just more reps for your patience, your discernment, your humor.
Mm.
And yeah, I think the mystic thanks the resistance instead of seeing it as a part of the problem. They see it as the reason for them to
Right.
actually start thriving. Yeah.
This also relates back to the whole victor versus victim mentality. I
Right.
can have things happen to me, or I can allow things to help me, aid
Yeah.
me. It's the whole I don't pray for a better life, I pray for a stronger back and broader shoulders. Right? It's
Yeah.
what would a champion do? Kind of situation. So how would, let's say, one of our spirit guides deal with it? I know for a
Mm.
fact that one of mine, and I'm thinking of one very specific one, given the location, um, he would try to burn the whole place down through action. Just suck something, don't waste my time. You're clearly doing something shady or stupid. Leave me out of it. Come after me. You won't have a jaw. That simple.
Mm.
Very clear, very to the point, calm, relax.
Yeah.
Hey, for us.
You know what I do, Ryan? I have a
Mm,
different version of this, but
you
it's
tell.
kind of similar. So I dim my empathy for them because I don't want to basically I can love them without logging into their simulation, right? I can still preserve my decency and like dignity in my character, whereas I'm like holding on to my prana in a sense. I'm not giving them away my prana or energy.
Mm,
So like protect your Wi-Fi signal, your bandwidth.
right.
Uh yeah, don't I mean there's so much spiritual interference nowadays, and if you're surrounded by a lot of, let's just say, what do we call them? Low vibe people, or
Let's just call them
I
low
don't even,
vibe people, man. It's
yeah.
to go too deep into this is a waste of time.
Yeah,
They're
so
just
just
low vibe.
remix their heaviness or density into dharma.
Mm,
And I think every interaction is a trade, but it's not like I don't see it as transactional. I mean like there is a give and a receiving, right? Always happening.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And everybody, this is what I believe is a channeler. They're always giving and receiving information from their thoughts, their astral field around them, and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So they basically don't mirror them, modulate. So low vibe people are like walking emotional Bluetooth devices, right? Trying to
Okay.
always auto pair to your nervous system, like always trying to uh
Mm-hmm.
basically protecting your anger, right? Um Responding in a grounded way is way better, I think, than burning the other person, unless it's tactical, unless
Mm-hmm.
it's like there's a purpose to it and there's a necessity to step in. Of course, there's a lot of times where we have to call stuff out,
Mm-hmm.
and humor, I think, is a higher alchemy because when they try to drag you into, let's say, gossip or like, sob stories or like the doom of the planet, like everything's going to shit, that's heavy, man. Do you want a chip? You know what I mean? Like, um, or it because it confuses the demon and entertains the angel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Primal Sutra way, man. It's just like social jujitsu, spiritual jujitsu, um, and not keeping stagnant or stuck in one way. I think a lot of people hurt themselves because they get they start to cling onto one identity too much.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can remain fluid and multidimensional, then they're uncatchable in a sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Radical acceptance, says Mathis, dissolves resistance and opens flow. Still till you are at that state might take a few rounds sometimes. Yeah.
It often does. It often does.
Yeah. Use like sensory anchors is what I would say to the audience as well. Because I'll notice a certain scent calms me down or a certain mantra immediately gets me into state. So have a
Mm.
collection of these things. I think it's a very good idea to have them on your phone. Remember, we needed it in Costa Rica, Ryan G, those vibrations and frequencies to download them, always have them with you. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I treat low vibe as a mirror of an earlier version of me. So
Mm-hmm.
uh I almost treat it like a timeline ghost, right? It's a reminder of who you've outgrown. So I can't hate them. I just know I can't save them or join them, either. Um,
Mm.
and I mean, the world will keep testing your resonance. Every
Regardless.
hater, every vampire is part of your initiation, I think. There's always a lesson in the end.
Mm. I agree with what you said. I have a slightly different perspective. I agree with these idiots are a mirror. They represent the low vibrational aspects of you. I agree with that. My approach would be slightly different in the sense of now they become training weights and I will treat them as such, which means I don't take them seriously. I do
Yeah,
what is right, I do what's needed to save my ass. And one thing I like to do is calming down my nervous system by way of breathing deliberately slower, as if the interaction itself is a meditation. Like imagine
mm,
me seeing this as a noir detective movie where it is purely a battle of dialogue, and I can, because it's a game, I can allow myself to pause the game for a second,
yeah,
correct my posture, breathe correctly, calm my nerves down because, bro, it's a game anyway. Therefore, allowing myself to allow any shadows that come up and through me to do what they need to do for how long as possible or needed and leave. That's on the inside. And on the outside, I just do what I, within the context and within the moment, see as the right thing to do. And any second guessing, I consider not of me. Is that simple? Should it be
Yeah.
wrong? So be it. I am willing to stand for the consequences, but I tend to be right anyway. That's
Yeah.
how I see it.
For men and women, God and gods and goddesses who are essentially deeper than the average person, maybe is the right word.
Sure.
Like they're on 8K consciousness and they're seeing the rest of the world on this kind of dial-up energy. Their faces are lagging, their eyes are loading or whatever.
Sure.
And they're like, bro, have you seen the new TikTok filter? And you're just like, I don't know, man. It's sort of like you
True.
cannot change that static because they're in it, right? They're in that static. So you can't change that static, but what you can do is transmit your radio, how it broadcasts from you differently.
Mm, I can see that.
So you don't have to choose to, get caught up in that TikTok filter at all.
Mm,
Just be like, that's cool, man. You do you, and just retain your power or energy.
mm,
And I think that's a really important thing in this age of, like I was saying, spiritual interference.
mm,
Like the universe sends you people not to lower you, but to test your signal strength, right?
mhm.
So can you hold your God frequency when Karen starts complaining about the weather for the 48th time this week or something?
I know who you're referring to. Yeah, I can see it.
Right? There's always a character or someone we know in that storyline.
It's
And but
every
that's the
time.
curriculum,
Hmm.
right? It's like so real magic or mysticism isn't about lighting candles and just chanting in dead languages. It's keeping your nervous system regulated and balanced so that
Mm,
these correct spirits can align with you properly,
mm,
right? While someone is trying to explain NFTs to you, it's like, you can sense the Buddha within him too in a certain point.
right.
But that's like graduation level mysticism for most people. So it's like, how do we get there, right? And that's the real question. How can we survive
Hmm.
samsara? You know how I've always seen it, Ryan G? This is a weird, wacky perspective, but I've always seen samsara, the wheel of suffering, as a portal, like as a stargate, where Mahakala is holding it.
Hmm.
And if he's the protector of Primal Sutra, he's also protector of samsara, right? Because technically he's holding it up, if you always see imagery. Um, and it's like you just have to orbit above samsara at times because the truth is, if you wrestle with pigs, you get muddy and the pig enjoys it. You know what I mean? So it's like you gotta not wrestle with it. We as mystics are here to transmute.
Mm, true. Mm.
But yeah, let's see what the audience has to say. Claudia's here.
Hey,
Hello,
Cloud.
hello. All right. Anybody else? Anything? This topic was very interesting. So, how did I respond to F? If we know who we're referring to, when he had sent me this issue.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I won't share everything about this, Ferris, but I said something around boundaries born from fear create more conflict.
yeah.
I had to learn that the hard way, man.
Put that on a shirt. That's a good one. That's a
Right.
good one.
And it's really true. Like we have to take boundaries from clarity, from a clean state of mind. We cannot make boundaries from hurt or pain because we're reinforcing that,
Mm,
right? It's like the dude who always sets ultimatums. It's my way or the highway. Everybody else get lost. Well,
mm,
it's the the flow way or the highway for me. So it comes down to your values, really, I think. Because hold on, Ryan, I wrote something about this to one of my students a while back, so I'm just trying to find it. Mm, is anything coming up for you while I look this up?
Hmm, what is coming up for me? Well, first thing that comes up is we have roughly 5 minutes. And two,
Okay,
this
I
is
found
a
it.
lifetime practice because as long as you live, this is going to be a thing. What were you going to say, Sumit?
Yeah, so this is what I had told him in an email. To master frame control, you've got to anchor yourself so deeply in your own values, purpose, and self-image that no external opinion can sway you.
Mm,
Right? So what else did I say? Speak slowly, own your pauses, maintain strong eye contact. Oh, that's just some coaching. Um, the more you practice holding your ground under social pressure, the more others will naturally align to your reality.
mm. So
Right?
what does
Because
that mean in English?
you become the baseline for others is the translation essentially.
I
Like
see.
you become the safe space for others to be completely themselves. Like when you're so grounded in your own presence and reality, you can handle any social pressure,
Hmm.
right? Hey, why are you wearing sunglasses, bro? It's indoors, right? Someone tells me right now,
Hmm.
I'll be like, it's my choice, right? Like, I'm not gonna get wrapped up in that. So you got to kind of chat GPT your answers. You get what I mean to these idiots or NPCs. You kind of have to be like a robot to them because that's what they're asking is a robotic question. I don't know what to say next. That's not the right question to ask, right? You get what I mean? So it's like
Hmm.
change the paradigm first, and then the answer will unfold. Like change the identity and the person that doesn't have these issues that you're having, and it will all unfold as the way it should. So that's my
Mm,
idea in terms of frame control is, you can do daily affirmations, visualize and all this stuff, but
hmm.
I think confident delivery instead of reactive emotion is actually very challenging. It's like an Olympic level sport because I think we as humans are on the brink of understanding our emotions. Like we
Hmm.
still haven't like fully begun to understand the power of it yet. We kind of know, but I think there's a whole nother world that's coming soon in terms of all this stuff. And new levels, new devils. So let's get it. We're ready. We are Primal Sutra.
Hmm.
If you need some solace and some interconnectedness in our Sangha, if you're like, fuck this world, this fucking prison planet is bullshit. I don't want to end up getting trapped here. If you have these thoughts, come around a community of positive individuals. They'll break you out of that way of thinking because you can't ruminate like that, bro. The world is falling apart, but we're picking up the pieces to put them right where they
Mm.
align the best, you know?
Just because it storms outside doesn't mean the temple breaks. This is the way it is.
Right.
Might get wet. A lot of
Right.
things get fun when they're wet. But, that's
But
besides the point. Besides the point. Anyway, I had to make some dirty joke.
yeah.
Um,
Right. Yeah.
that being said, in the final minute of this podcast, we're heading to Sedona. Likely, we're gonna be there the 5th. We're having fun planning this out. We already have a roadmap ready. You know what? It reminds me, I might have to update the website with that roadmap. That's a pretty cool image,
Yeah, that
and
is a cool one.
I am
Yeah, and
looking
by the
very
way,
forward.
December, guys, not 5th of some random month that you're thinking about,
Oh yeah,
whoever. Yeah.
5th of December. Let's get it
Yeah.
clear. Definitely, the first few days is us catching our breath,
Scoping, yeah.
scoping the environment, where we're gonna get food, etc. Who's gonna, do
Right.
what, when, and why. Likely, I'll be the main driver. And I'm also looking at Jusumit to, at least do some
In an
sort just
if it's an open area like that, then I'm sure it could.
yeah, I mean we could pick a parking
But yeah,
lot, sure.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, like in the open fucking canyon or the fucking, like that'd be
Let
lit.
me do the off-roading.
Okay, okay. Bet. All right. So thank
And
you
that
guys
being
for
said,
tapping in.
that
Yeah,
that being said,
primalsutramysteryschool.com
mm,
for that if you want to join our event. We do grid work, so it's going to be very yeah, it's going to be a good lesson for you.
mm,
Try if you're not there in person, just try and be there online if you can. Um, I believe the online tickets was 99, right, Ryan?
the
Yeah.
usual 99.
I think we could give it off for adepts too. So yeah, just ask and tap in. Um, may you never be the same again. May the flow be with you.
Us.
Nah, you gotta say good evening,
Oh,
good
okay.
night, bro.
I thought
That's
you
your
were
thing.
ending. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining this podcast. Good morning.